Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is such a great honor for me to be here once again, and I am really satisfied because I got such a very interesting topic that goes by the word that we should recognize the rights of religious groups to discriminate on the basis of sexual discrimination, orientation, sorry. So, before moving deep to the topic, I would like to define the word basis of sexual orientation. So what exactly it is? Basis of sexual orientation is the understanding fundamentally about sex, about gender, about their roles in the society. So according to this topic alone, I would like to strongly support because of two main reasons. The first one is about avoiding conflict, and the second one is about the respectfulness to those religious groups. So now let's move to the first argument. It's about avoiding conflict. If the government, or if we happen to restrict all of them to follow us, that we should not discriminate, we should have the equal rights between women and men, they have the same opportunities. But how about those religious groups? Have we ever thought that it is opposite from their norms? For example, like Muslim religion, they do not allow men and women to have sexually contact with one another. And if we happen to do so, there would be conflicts and lots of problems that arise in the country or maybe in the whole world. So now let's move to the second argument. It's about respectfulness. I believe that all of you need respect. We need to respect one another in order to live in the peace. And if we happen to do so, as I mentioned, lots of conflicts that happen. And also, I would like to say that respectfulness is something that all of us, especially the people who is living in this 21st century, the technological era, humanity is becoming it's becoming scarce because they do care about how they survive, they do care about the money, but they forgot what is the basic of being human. Like we have to respect with one another. And I would like to raise up an example of the problem that has just happened recently in Sydney, Australia. Because of the religious unrespectfulness, that's why that problem happened, and it caused 2 to 3 people died, and it is such a great sorrow for that.
Yes.
So I would like to raise up that even most of the people might think that if we restrict the discrimination and if we follow the gender, because gender term is very famous for this century, the gender inequality to be equal. So that the economy will be it's going to be very well developed. The country will have lots of benefit for that. But being forceful, if we force them, there's no advantages of it. They just got to stand and they say that as long as it is under the law, so it is okay for them to do so. So lastly, I would like to conclude that. Because of these two main reasons, it sounds very simple, but it's really logic. I need all to considerate about that is avoiding conflict and respecting with one another. So to those of you who think that my ideas might be wrong or you disagree with this, but I would like to ask you a very simple question. If you happen to be in one of the religious group, like you are in Muslim, and they don't allow you contact with one another, the women and men do not allow to contact with one another, and the society will force you to do it, are you going to stand still, or are you going to stand up and protest? And lastly, I would like to say that in this world there's diversification of anything. But the only important thing that we need to stand for is the unity in diversity. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. Now I would like to give the floor to our judges to ask first questions.
Hi, Nary. So you say that we should respect the religious groups, but what about respect for people who are gay or respect for women's rights? more important?
Thank you. In my own perspective, I would say that three of them is very important because, as I said, that respectfulness is very important, and all of us need it. I can say that we cannot just be biased to those religious groups and don't care about the vulnerable group like gay, because they are human too. They have the right, as long as it is under law, so that they have the right to protect themselves. They have the right to be respected by others.
Thank you.
Hi, Nary. Okay. We don't? Oh, good. Okay. Okay, we'll try this one. Okay, Cambodia being a Buddhist country, do you think, one, they should tolerate same-sex relationships such as marriage, and, to extend that, have children?
Thank you. In my own point of view, I think same-sex marriage should be allowed, even though it's against the religion that women with women and men with men should not be together, and even though they are not be able to have a child, but at least it's their right. And I think comparing, even though that those religious groups have rights and we should respect them, but actually we also have to respect each one of our citizens, because it doesn't mean that 100% of Cambodian people is all Buddhist. So they also have the same rights. We have to balance, we have to balance those religious groups and all the citizens who is living in the country. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates, and thank you, judges.